anyone and everyone. This is Kim the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I am going to do a tarot collective for today. Today is Saturday, January 24th, 2026. You may follow me on the talk, the tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. If some of it fits, bam. We love that for you. Whatever doesn't, leave it on the table for someone else. You don't have to take on energy that wasn't meant for you. If you don't know it to be true, then it ain't true. We got the Deck of the Undead, Hattie Thorne. You can find us at hattiethorne.com, her Etsy shop. She actually just came out with two new decks, too. I got an email about them yesterday, I think. Maybe one on Wednesday, maybe one yesterday, or one on Thursday, one yesterday. They're both kind of like romantic, Valentine-y type. They're both tarot decks, but they look beautiful. They're kind of more Victorian, which isn't really typically my thing, but they're actually really pretty. Pretty decks. Although I do like Victorian Christmas for some reason. We got one on the table. Okay, I was just going to say it's a major, but it's not a major. Somebody's thirsty. Somebody's thirsty. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We got 3 on the table. I love this deck. I love this deck. I think I've only used it like once or twice, but I actually really like it. We got 4 on the table. Hold on. Came out in the reverse. We got 4 on the table, 1 in the reverse. We're going to do 2 more shuffles. Okay, that was weird. That one really wanted to come out, and I want to look at it. I'm not 5 on the table. I'm not guaranteeing I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. Okay. All right. We got 6 on the table, 1 card in reverse, no major, last shuffle. Oh, baby. Why do we feel like this? Why do we let ourselves feel like this? All right. And why do I feel like this is a love reading? Why do I feel like this is the worst side of what a love reading would be? It is not at all what a love reading should be, right? All right. We got Ace of Cups. I'm still knocking my legs, like nervous energy. 5 of Pentacles. I was doing it in the last reading, and it fit, and I'm still doing it. 5 of Cups. We got 6 of Cups in reverse. Okay. We got Queen of Swords. Now, these are tarot, but Hattie Thorne put like a little description on there, which I love. 4 of Swords. Because it kind of gives me a feel of like what the energy is. 6 of Swords. A lot of swords. Okay, a lot of swords. And bottom of the deck, King of Swords. Look at that. All in a row. Queen of Swords, 4 of Swords, 6 of Swords, King of Swords. Look at how cute. What a cute couple. I'm just joking around. This is one person's energy, by the way. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. It doesn't matter. like I said, this is one person's energy, and I feel like somebody's coming out of like a love situation, and it could be love for another person, okay? It could be love for a workplace, love for family, love for a friend. Take how it resonates. But it's like somebody trying to leave something in the past. Um, hmm. With the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, feeling down and out, feeling like you're at your worst, feeling like you're never going to get over this, you know? Again, it doesn't matter if it's love for a person or not. When we feel loss, okay? When we feel loss, first of all, any form of loss, any feeling of loss is valid. And second of all, you need to work through that in your own time, at your own pace, however you best deal with that, okay? And it is up to every person to figure out how to deal with loss. I'm not saying that you can't seek help. I'm not saying that you can't seek therapy, right? Um, I literally just took a course on this, grief coaching, okay? Passed with flying colors. Absolutely love the course. Um, this is what it is, y'all. Like, Hattie Thorne put on the Six of Cups, some memories should stay buried. I don't agree. I don't agree. I feel like even memories of the worst thing that ever happened to you, why are you trying to bury that? Why are you trying to hide that from yourself? You should I'm not saying that you should wallow in it. I'm saying you should use those memories, those events to better yourself, to bring yourself to a higher point of being, right? To rise above, to not feel in a Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles energy. Healing grief, right? Healing is something that's never ending. You know, you're going to be heal. I always say this, you're going to be healing from birth to death. And when you experience loss and you experience grief, people go through that in waves, go through that in stages that last a lifetime. And I've told you guys this before. One of the greatest personal losses I've ever experienced was the loss of my grandparents. And I'm ready to cry right now. And that's fine. Crying is an amazing form of healing. I love those two people. They were in my life for a long time, and they were the cornerstone of our family's foundation, right? Like, when my parents couldn't provide, they provided for us. Every other year, they paid for me and my brother and my dad and my mom to go on vacation. We all went on vacation as a family with them, with my dad's two sisters. We all went on vacation. They paid for that. Those were experiences that I would have never had without them. All the things that they did for me, all the things that they did for my brother, and all the things that they did for my dad, my parents, you know? My friend messaging me. Um, Invaluable life events, okay? Of course I'm going to miss them. And again, grief and loss and healing, it goes in waves. You know, I could go weeks, even months without thinking of them. And then when I think of them, like, I start to tear up and I start to cry because I miss them. I miss the humans that they were, right? And I'll tell you this, that's okay. It's okay that I'm still crying 3 years later, right? Who cares? I'm still healing from it. I still think about them fondly. You know, I deal with it every day. I'm just saying. And everybody deals with grief and loss in their own way, and that's okay too. And like I said, some people seek professional help, therapy, coaching, you know. Um, that's okay too. There's no problem. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Seeking counsel from friends, family, when you're feeling it, there's nothing wrong with that. If everybody were more in tune with their emotion and their healing, we wouldn't be where we are as a society. We wouldn't have angry men out there, right? We wouldn't have women out there that feel like they can't be themselves, that feel like they have to conform. Like, let's just be honest. Every generation is taught, every single generation is taught to store their feelings away, to hide their emotion, to be strong, right? To put up a good fight, to put up a good front. Generational curses. Queen of Swords. Whoever this is, I mean, don't let this situation put you down and put you out. Not for forever, you know? That's ridiculous. I'm not saying don't rest. I'm not saying don't take time to heal. I'm not saying don't take time to mourn, right? Don't take time to grieve. Do all those things. But don't let it stop you. Four of Swords, rest is not peace. Six of Swords, leave but take the ghosts. Listen, I just said, you can spend as much time as you need to heal. And don't leave the memories in the past. Take those with you. Experience those over and over and over again. Eventually, you're going to go from feelings of grief to feelings of joy and remembrance. That's what's supposed to happen. You're not just, you guys know how I feel about it. You know I use this example all the time. You're not supposed to put it in a box and put it on the top shelf and turn off the light and close the door and lock it. It's not meant to sit in the closet for forever. Good memories, bad memories, horrible things, amazing things should always be looked at, should always be re-experienced. Because who's to know if you haven't, quote unquote, healed from something, and 10 years later, you look at it again and you have that epiphany moment. That's what you want. Continued growth, continued change. And like I said, healing from birth to death all the time. Non-stop. Positive energy. Put it out there. You're going to get it back. If you put it out there and you're having emotional issues, you're going to get that back. In the form of signs, synchronicities, messages, downloads. Yeah, to aid in your own healing. Think about it. And don't sit around. I know, like, when we're like sad and upset, we feel the need to like get into bed and watch a movie, and then we end up sitting there for 5 days, right? And eating, McDonald's and 10,000 gallons of ice cream and 5 bags of popcorn. I get it. Do what you need to do, work through it, and then move. Move. I will say this. When I have gone through like bouts of depression, especially when my aunt and my cousin passed away, they passed away a little over a year apart from each other. I was in such a state that, like, that was probably, other than when I lived at home when I was younger, that was probably my most stagnant period in like the last 10, 15 years. Seriously. And I'll tell you what, I don't ever want to be there again. When my grandmother passed away, and when my grandfather passed away, and then like a year and a half later my grandmother passed away, I had to keep moving. I knew I had to keep moving. Like, I could not let myself sit there and wallow in it. I just could not. Like, I have to keep those creative juices flowing. I need to keep doing what I'm doing, moving forward, going in the right direction. I can't just sit here. I can't. And again, I'm not saying I didn't take, like a week or something, to rest and, meditate and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like, I got to get up and move. I can't. And it's funny because I realized, like, I can't do that with anything. I can't do that with anything. And I didn't, when I look back on my aunt and my cousin, like, I didn't want to do that for my grandparents. I didn't want to put the memory of them in that type of situation. Does that make sense? Like, I didn't want to think about them and have to think about the connection of being depressed and sitting at home and doing nothing. I wanted to connect that with growth, abundance, forward mobility. And I wish I had been in that spot in my life when I could have done that for my aunt and my cousin, for the memory of them. Now when I think about them, it's more positive, like I think about the good times and all that stuff. I don't necessarily think about, the fact that they're actually gone. I mean, obviously I think about them being gone, but you know what I'm saying. I personally think keeping the ghost alive, keeping the memory alive is what keeps you going. Like I said, when you shut it off, when you put it in a closet and you try to hide it, you're just going to make it worse for yourself in the long run. King of Swords. And it's funny because she put on there, "Long live the hungry," and I just keep thinking in my head, what is it? Only the fittest survive, only the strongest survive. When you get to that point on your healing journey where you can take accountability for yourself and you can take action for yourself, and you have love and faith for yourself completely, like, the sky's the limit. And it's not that we don't experience loss, we do. But when you can recognize that from all angles for what it is, and you can work that through that for yourself, that is probably one of the greatest gifts that you can create for yourself, that you can receive from God if you believe. Okay? Seriously. One last thing before I cut it. Before I cut it, you can't mourn for forever. Oh, Hattie Thorne, I love you. Um, I just don't really agree. Honestly. Because you learn how to mourn in a more positive, enlightened way for yourself. So I understand what she's saying, but I think it changes. I think it morphs as you become more enlightened, as you become more healed, right? I think it changes, it morphs. But it's always there, and it should be always there. You should always be dealing with things. You should always be bringing things back up from your past. You should always be dissecting and integrating and all that jazz, because that's what propels you forward. That's what makes you a better human. That's what makes you a better, right? That's what makes you a better person. More comprehensive, you know? Like your mind, your heart, your body, your soul, right? All right. Enough of that jazz. I'm going to leave it there. I hope it resonates for somebody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it entertaining. I hope you all have a fabulous Saturday. I will be back on later with the Tarot Collective and the Collective for the day. It's still freezing here, but it's very nice and sunny. I'm quite enjoying it. And I'm not leaving the house. I thought maybe I would leave the house, make some returns at Kohl's, I'm not doing that. I'm staying here. I'm staying here. I'll talk to you later. Bye.